Okay, so I've been doing some real thinking about whether or not I would even cover anything to do with this Jay Slater disappearance. Half of the British population, if not three-quarters of it, are all over TikTok, some of which are actually paying to go out there and join in the manhunt.
So we've arrived.
Thank the ever-loving Jesus Christ, all his apostles, all his pals, and even the wee woman that done the dishes at the Last Supper, for Danielle from Barnsley has arrived in Tenerife. The search party can breathe a sigh of relief because the TikTok content creators have came with their Lost Marys, their ring lights and their tripods, and they are raring to go.
For this missing 19-year-old. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to cover some of the most ridiculous comments that I've seen coming out of this, which are not limited to people offering to bring over their Labradors with a really good smell on them to see if they can, find him. Now, if you're really unaware, I don't know if this is such a big news story elsewhere around the world as it is in the UK, but when I tell you that this is like a minute by minute update over here at the minute, yeah, it is. It really is. And there are countless. There are lies. There are TikTok lies. Like I say, there are people being sent out there who are like TikToking the whole thing. There's GoFundMe's where people are real skeptical. We have conspiracy theories. We have, is the mafia involved? Possible sightings. We have all sorts of stuff. And I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theory part of it, even though I know that a few of you would really like me to. I just want to get down to kind of what we know. And read some of these absolutely ridiculous comments, because when I say that the British population are unbothered, we don't take things very seriously. And one would have thought that maybe because this is quite a big case and this is the disappearance of a 19-year-old lad who just went missing in Tenerife over 2 weeks ago now, you would have thought that the British population would be taking this more seriously. No, they are taking this so unserious that it is mind-boggling. We've got 2 separate Facebook pages. Okay, I'm actually a part of one because I was enjoying some of the commentary on it, because some of it is just outright silly. Like someone saying, have you checked the shady areas? Are you sure that he's not just cut himself on a cactus and he's stuck there? Some of these comments make you feel very nervous about the fact that these people are also voting in the upcoming election. That's all I'm going to say. And this is a very serious topic of conversation. Don't get me wrong. This is a missing 19-year-old. A 19-year-old lad who went missing in Tenerife over 2 weeks ago. His last possible sighting or whatever was a ping from his phone, which was located a little while off, kind of in the gorses almost. It's really barren. Where he is full of cacti and it's full of ravines. It's barren. Okay, it's ultra barren. Last thing we know is that he was at this music festival, and he then decided to get a taxi back to an Airbnb where these 2 guys, don't think he knew them. Last known sighting of actually speaking to him was with this woman, where he asked about the bus timetable, and because he just missed a bus and he needed to get back to his accommodation, which would have been a 10-11 hour walk. He asked the lady said, yeah, bus every 2 hours or whatever it was a bit of a language barrier between the two. And instead of him waiting for the bus, he just decided to hightail it off and walk off.
I'd gone home from the NRG festival a little bit earlier than everybody else because I was tired. So I'd gone home alone back to my apartment, and then I woke up to a phone call at 8:30 in the morning, around 8:30, from Jay saying that he'd gone up to the mountains, that his phone was on 1%, so it was about to die. He didn't know where he was. He needed a drink. That he'd cut all his leg on a cactus, and that he had no idea where we were. So I said to him, if you're ever going to listen to anything I'm going to say, you need to listen now. You need to go back to wherever you've just come from before your phone dies, and I'll come and pick you up from there.
And rang his friend Lucy, who I think is a rep on the island, and she said that he had 1% on his phone, he was really thirsty, and he was lost. Since that has happened, the amount of conspiracy theories, the amount of drama that has ensued has been Can we remember what happened with like the Titan submersible last year when everyone was making up these like memes and making up these conspiracy theories and really holding on to it? Well, that is what's happening, but with this missing 19-year-old. Now, since then, GoFundMes have been set up. I think it was originally set up by this Lucy girl, then set up a GoFundMe, which had a £30,000 reach target. It's now gone over it. I can't remember what it is, but it's over 30k now, and it's just keeping on climbing. Debbie Duncan is Jay Slater's mum. Debbie was listed as one of the like beneficiaries or whatever was going on of this GoFundMe, but then she kept on being taken off and on, or it was the other way around. Whoever, whatever. Now, what's now happened is that Debbie has now actually come on. This is really, really, really recent, like today recent. She says that she's going to be releasing some of those funds, and she says that she's going to be giving it to like the mountain rescue teams and to fly loved ones to Tenerife. The funds would also be used to cover the cost of food and accommodation for the family. I wanted to share that these funds will be used to support the mountain rescue teams who are tirelessly searching for Jay. Additionally, since our stay in Tenerife needs to be extended, we will also use the funds to cover accommodation and food expenses. That's what she's saying, and of course loads of people are just having a bit of a thing with the GoFundMe.
Truth has come out about the GoFundMe page that was made for Jay Slater. Let me explain. Obviously, since Jay's been missing, there was a GoFundMe that was set up, and people have been very suspicious of it. There's been loads of conspiracies about why it was made. Loads of things to do with that Lucy girl, them being in a certain kind of debt. Some very, very bad people, some very dangerous people. People are trying to make out that they made that GoFundMe so they could basically pay off that debt to those dangerous people. It's very weird, and it's a massive stretch. I don't think there's literally any evidence. Like, I've tried to find some. There's basically no evidence to support this. It's literally just a conspiracy theory. Instead, the GoFundMe page was actually made for this reason. But one of the admins of the Jay Slater Facebook account, apparently it is related to Jay. I think it's his sister. Actually, they put a post up that people are literally hacking their account. Why would you do that to someone's family when they're missing? Honestly, people baffle me. He's basically had to address like everybody's comments, basically saying that they're all just lying or like it's not true. Specifically for the GoFundMe, obviously people found it suspicious that it went from £10,000 as a goal to £30,000. She said that the GoFundMe is set up for Jay's mum. Jay's mum's bank account has been used to fund his staying and food. Please stop now, it's torturing his mum. Which, if you think about it, makes so much sense.
Now, one of the reasonings why people then started having their bee in their bonnet about his character, even going so far as to actually contact Jay's work. So his work have actually come out and released this kind of statement, basically saying like, we are harassed with phone calls, saying that he's unalived and saying all sorts of things. Even Debbie, his mum, has been inundated with these calls pretending to have him hostage. Like really, really, really dark stuff, okay? Like really dark stuff that no one should be doing. It's not funny.
There are people out there who have been vile. I've listened to messages, I've read messages from people. There are people out there who have phoned up and said, we've got Jay captive, you need to pay this, you need to that. There are some really vile people that have done that. They've tried to hack some of the social media sites, they've attacked some of the family. This is unacceptable. We've got a young lad out here who is missing.
Now, what is not quite helping is that Jay has a bit of a criminal history where he was actually involved in, I think it was about 8 of them, where they basically jumped and attacked with like all sorts of horrible weaponry and cracked open this guy's head. He didn't go to prison, but he ended up having a sentence of probation and all of this. And I think there was something else that happened to do with robbery. I've been reading a little bit. People found out this information. They then started flooding the person who that happened to. And I think they've since come out and they've said, yeah, the past is the past, but we're now dealing with a missing person. But people then realised and had a bee in their bonnet and were trying to connect the dots.
For the first time, it would seem today, the police over in Tenerife, the Spanish police, are beginning to look into the background of Jay Slater, not least because earlier this month he was handed an 18-month community order at Preston Crown Court for violent disorder in a case which apparently, according to the judge, involved intimidation of witnesses, supply of Class A drugs and street robbery.
The Spanish police in this case have sort of kept their cards very close to their chest. We've been going to them every day and saying, what are the new lines of inquiry? Right. Whereabouts is your search taking place? And it is quite an interesting development that they have come out and said, we are going to look into the background. A police source to Mail Online have said that it's not unusual for police in missing people's cases to investigate the background in case it's relevant to the hunt.
Oddly enough, you might think, who goes missing? Like, how many people go missing in Tenerife? Actually, quite a lot of people have gone missing in Tenerife. They just picked up, I think it was a Scottish hiker. They just picked someone up trying to find Jay. They actually managed to find someone else who had been gone missing.
Police looking for missing teenager Jay Slater in Tenerife have found and rescued a Scottish hiker while out searching. The 51-year-old was found in the Los Carrizales neighbourhood, not far from where Jay's phone last pinged. The search for Jay continues.
Can you imagine if you just like walked over and this guy's like, oh yeah, you finally found me, and he's just like, and you're just like, oh, we were actually looking for someone else, but at least we've now found you. So people do go missing, and it's bad conditions. Okay, it's extremely hot. There's not going to be a hell of a lot of shade. It's very barren, very dry. But I will say that the walk between where the Airbnb was and where he was, a lot of it was obviously you can drive there. It would have been a road. So a lot of people were thinking it doesn't make any sense to, unless you are being really dumb and foolish, which very, very, very possible. You know, why would you get off the road and then whatever? People do all sorts of things. A lot of people are, you know, there was more than likely, you know, class A's involved. So really that's then going to affect your whoever, whatever. But that is what I know. People are descending upon Tenerife in droves, actual droves. We've got TikTokers left and right going like, hi guys, I'm doing this. And to be fair, some of them look like they're doing quite a good job. There's this one particular guy who has been basically on it, like working alongside the authorities and then also doing a little bit of catching up.
So guys, we were just going to the top of the mountain. However, loads of police have come past us and I've been really lucky. Sky News gave me a lift up here, and I just want to see what's going on because literally they have found something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but there's loads of police. They're pointing down. They've obviously found something that's quite interesting.
But then you have some people that are going out there, literally going to like the destination, basically the Airbnb, doing a live, and then going about their day on their holiday. And it's like, just madness. Like, can you imagine if this was what it was like when Madeleine McCann went missing? Like, if TikTok was around then, I bet you anything that this would be what people would be doing, because I believe that people did actually fly out to try and find her. But can you imagine if it happened in the TikTok era? I bet you anything you would have a hell of a lot of people doing TikTok lives over there. I'm going to read out some compilations of some comments so you guys can really get a sense over the type of people who are trying to like armchair detective this case. Took this off of a TikTok thing, so the guy's name's Nathan Driver. I was just basically snapshotting comments that he was reading because I tried going on the Facebook pages, but these comments are like so far and few between. But the amount of people doing compilation videos of these comments, I'm not the very first one. There are so many, because some of these people, can we please just act serious for like one moment? Might sound stupid, but has anyone thought that maybe Jay found an animal and he built a personal connection with it and doesn't want to leave it? Now, I personally, this one could very well be a joke. Kirsty, I have a Labrador who has a very sensitive nose. Maybe he could pick up a scent if you have an item with his smell on it. In this particular one, there's no laugh. There's absolutely no laughing. There's no laughing involved. I actually read one. I read one that there was this person who, I think they're disabled, so they use a chair, and they were asking whether or not they should come out and how rough the terrain is for their automobile chair. Yeah, I know it might sound stupid, but has anyone tried ringing his phone in case someone's taken it and they've put it on charge or something like that? Maybe a silly question, but if Jay cut his leg on a cactus, is it possible he got stuck to it and is still on the mountain but attached to a cactus? Praying he gets home soon. Has anyone considered he might have been captured by Hamas? They do a lot of kidnapping these days. Okay, you need a geography lesson. Has anyone tried emailing Jay in case he has internet? Maybe he just not has signal, so can't get calls, but maybe internet, so maybe try emailing him. These people are the people who are meant to be voting in the next week. I have no hope for this country whatsoever. I hope he's found before the election. I'd hate for him to not be able to exercise his right to vote. Or hopefully someone can vote on his behalf. I see that NRG is an electronic dance festival which he was at. Has anyone tried going down with speakers and playing music similar to the festival to see if he is drawn to the music? Don't know if anyone has posted this yet, but is it possible that Jay has joined a local tribe in the area? Me and my friend are pilots, so would anyone be willing to make banners that we can fly over the region he was lost so he can see people are looking for him, or maybe a giant map so he can find his way back to people? Okay, I kind of understand the theory behind like the plane. I understand that, but the giant map? What is going on? What is going on? I have a very hard time believing that these people are pilots if this is what you are trying to suggest. So, and there are a lot more, by the way. There's a lot more. There's people saying like, have you checked out any shady areas? Is it possible that he's fallen into the sea or whatever's going on? You know, that there are all sorts of other ones. And you know, the problem that we're having right now is that the news are very much trying to tell people to maybe stop armchair detecting it and to just let, you know, the police and all of that deal with this, because at the end of the day it is very sad. We haven't found any sighting, no clues whatsoever, but there's people all over the show starting TikTok lives and basically saying that, you know, they found him unalived, which literally isn't the case, and then contacting the mum and saying this. Realistically, what's probably happened is that we're going to find him and it's not going to be a very nice situation. But I feel like people just watch a bit too much true crime. That's just my own personal opinion. And I'm not saying that, you know, there isn't a slight chance, because it's the world and weird and horrible things happen all the time, that some of these theories, there could be an element of truth to it. That's not what I'm saying. But in my heart of hearts, you know, if it does turn out that this really is as plain and simple as he has got lost and we're going to find him in a really bad way, you have people who are like doing all of this to the family and to, you know, the mum and contacting his work. That's just so messed up. Seriousness, can you imagine like if it was one of my kids, like, and then you've then got this to deal with? I'm not saying that some of the people haven't acted weird. The friend is definitely, you know, I feel like maybe the friend knows more than what she's letting on. That's the one thing I do agree with. But I don't agree with, you know, people trying to come up with a whole slew of reasonings that don't really have any backing to them whatsoever, because we are dealing with a missing teenage boy. But that is pretty much all I've got to say on the topic of conversation. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Of course, take care of each other, put on that sunscreen. Just thought I would add that in there because it's getting kind of hot over here. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other. I think I just said that. Take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.